This is 4 minutes of me writing. Now, actually, obviously, it's sped up a bit, so it's actually closer to 17 minutes, but I've compressed it down here to sort of make a point. You'll notice that it's not continuous. A lot of times when we picture an author, a writer, creating a book, writing a story, we picture it in a fever. It's an outpouring of creativity, inspiration, and work. And then at the end, you have this beautiful, crystal clear piece of art that you've created. But that just isn't true. See, there's a lot of pauses. And in those pauses, I'm thinking about if that line of dialogue was realistic, or where I want the story to go next. Sometimes these blips can go on for minutes. Sometimes they can stretch for days. We think of writing as writing, but it can be so much more than that. For example, there's this famous quote from Burton Rasco in which he says, "A writer is working when he's staring out the window." What it's really saying is that writing consists of so much more than actually writing or typing or whatever it is you're doing to create the thing you're creating. Because you're not just pouring out words, you're building a world. You're building characters, people, and those people have dreams and they face struggles and they have to overcome those struggles throughout the course of the story. But the other part of that quote, the beginning of it, says, "What no wife of a writer can ever understand is that a writer is working when he's staring out the window." And that first piece I take a bit of an issue with. It is fair to say that sometimes people don't understand the work that goes into a creative endeavor, but to say that they can never understand or that they don't want to is just foolish. I think that, of course, in basically every career, every creation, every piece of art that's made, there's always so much more that goes into it than the physical work of creating it. You have to dream, you have to imagine, you have to put in the hard work of creating and then recreating and fixing, revising. And I say this not in a way to try to make other people understand, but I say this so that you, the writer, the artist, the creator, the worker, the dreamer, that you cut yourself some slack. You don't always have to be actively making in order to create. You have to go through those measures of thinking and brainstorming, rethinking, and going back to the drawing board when necessary. Art is not a single act. In fact, the act of creating takes time, and it takes a plethora of experiences and input and efforts. So don't give yourself a hard time if you pause, because pausing is when we take the time to reflect, to grow, to imagine.